Tell me about your experience with Barbie growing up.
Well, Barbies didn't play a very big part in my life because first I didn't like dolls in general just because their eyes. I didn't like the fact that when you were done playing with them, they would kind of still be alive and they would just be looking at you, and I didn't like that. So I didn't like dolls in general. So Barbie was out of the question. But I grew up with my brother, my older brother, and he was the one who got me into like playing soccer, playing basketball, playing video games. So I kind of grew up as a tomboy to begin with. But one bad experience I had with Barbies was that I lived in Arlington, which is at the time wasn't a very good place, and I lived in an apartment. But my parents found a Barbie house in the trash, and it had a couple Barbies along with it. So they gave it to me, and I remember that every time I would play with it, that I would get really sad afterwards because I would just think that it wasn't real, and like that really stuck with me. For me to remember that from like way back when, it made a difference, and I think it was part of the reason why I grew up being a tomboy rather than, liking Barbies and pink and girly stuff like that.
Because this every year I always got a Barbie from like some sort of family member, and I had probably close to like 40 Barbies. And I would get all my Barbie toys, like the house and like the car and like everything else. I would set it up in this giant circle around my room, and I would just sit in the middle of it and pretend it was like a house, and I was just in the middle and I was just playing with my Barbies. And like I always asked like my cousins to play with me and stuff because I was the only girl on the side, so it kind of sucked. But yeah, played Barbie by myself like every day for hours. So.
I never really had any experiences with Barbie, being a boy. I never played with dolls or anything, but I did have a little sister who would play with Barbie dolls, and I just remember it'd be annoying because she'd always play with them and leave them around, and I would step on them and hurt my foot.